Thank you, Dean Deert, and thank you, Professor Geisen. It's an honor to be here at the University of Utrecht, founded 381 years ago at the time of Galileo. It's remarkable to reflect on its inception at a time when Isaac Newton's seminal work would still be decades in the future, and to reflect on all the growth and discovery in science that has happened since that time, including essential advances in microbiology and microscopy by Dutch scientists like Van Leeuwenhoek to ultimately give rise to modern medical research. This recognition today makes me feel welcomed into your community. It also reminds me that science is ultimately a community endeavor and underscores how essential it is that we include diverse perspectives to achieve our full potential. Indeed, we need every single bright mind engaged. An abundance of data now shows that diversity of perspective unequivocally leads to better organizational decisions and better outcomes. I hope as I stand here, you see two sides of me. On the one hand, a biomedical researcher, and on the other hand, the eldest daughter of immigrants whose ancestors hail from northwestern colonial India. As a researcher, I trained as both an engineer and a physician. I use this perspective to encourage my team at MIT to combine approaches from different disciplines to solve problems. One of the earliest problems was, how can we build an organ from scratch? To meet that challenge, my team adapted computer chip technology to organize living cells into tiny structures that mimic the architecture of the human liver. We use these microlivers to study deadly diseases like drug toxicity, hepatitis, and malaria. Using manufacturing methods like 3D printing technologies, we've gone on to create larger structures that serve as artificial livers to support failing ones, as well as methods like nanotechnology to create tiny structures that can travel into the liver and detect disease. As the daughter of Indian immigrants to the US, I bring my own background and perspectives to my research. My cultivation of interdisciplinary trainees and advancement of our science through startup companies. I was prepared and encouraged to be creative through early exposure to both science and the arts, the encouragement of mentors who saw more for me than I saw for myself, and through a system that supported my career development. This system extended from a supportive upbringing at home, through strong public schools and wonderful universities, all the way to a university employer who has demonstrated a commitment to recruiting, advancing, and retaining women faculty. Over the past 20 years, MIT has doubled its number of women faculty, normalized tenure rates, compensation, space allocation, and course loads for women, and has done much to overcome the unconscious biases that can hinder their advancement. Of course, there is much work still to do, but we are making progress in cultivating a diverse community on campus, which brings me back to the honor I feel in being recognized here at the University of Utrecht. I find it both humbling and inspiring to see firsthand the commitment to community building that our institutions share. Being here and learning more about the initiatives that you have in place and in the pipeline make me optimistic about the work that we all have left to do together. The community that I've been describing is also being built here, and that means that all of us already are part of a larger community than we might have realized. Thank you for inviting me into yours. I look forward to being part of a larger system and learning from each other to benefit our scientific community and ultimately our human community. Thank you.
Registration.